Hello and welcome to another episode of Tasty Time. I am Michelle Abanum. On our previous episodes, I told you how food is important to our existence, and we also talked about what cooking means to different people. But on today's episode, I'm going to be taking you on a quick ride on how food affects our health. Do you know our brain requires a whole lot of energy to perform and function well? I bet you did. Eating healthy helps reduces the risk of physical health conditions like heart diseases, diabetes. It also helps regulate our sleep patterns, energy levels, even our moods. Little wonder they say a hungry man is an angry man. So please feel free to eat when and where you can. Let's go on a quick commercial break, and when I come back, it will be food proper.
You go enter market, just make you go buy fresh palm fruits. When you reach house, you go wash, you go pound, your body go dey pain you, even your fingernails go dey pain you. But make una no worry, make una relax. I get good news for una. Una don hear of Banga fresh palm fruit extract. All you need to do now, make you go for the open am. Take the amount wey you want, put am for your pot. Which soup you wan make? Shey na egusi, shey na ogbono, shey na vegetable, shey na banga. My sister no waste time again, my brother no waste time again. Just go buy Banga fresh palm fruit extract. They go know say you sabi cook and you be better cook.
Banga, come make your food yum.
Distributors needed nationwide. Phone number 081 63 974447. 08035644436, 07066638213. Banga fresh palm fruit extract.
Welcome back, guys. If you're just tuning in, this is Tasty Time, and of course you've not missed so much because the whole magic is just about to begin. I'm going to be taking you through the process of how I make my special village rice and then my really spicy pomo sauce. So do not go anywhere because we are about to begin this whole magic. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to throw in some vegetable oil. Next, I'm going to throw in some onion. And then I'm going to saute this for a few minutes. Now I'm going to throw in my blend of pepper. I have my bell pepper here, some scotch bonnet pepper, some sand pepper as well. Give this a big stir. Now I'm going to throw in some blended onion, so I'm going to allow this cook for about 3 minutes, and then I'll come back for the addition of seasoning cubes and then salt. This has been on fire for about 3 minutes. Now I'm going to add some seasoning cubes. And just a sprinkle of salt. Give this another big stir. Okay, so now I'm going to throw in my already cooked pomo. The pomo has been cooked and seasoned already. I basically used some salt and then some seasoning cubes. Because this is not going to be pomo sauce alone, I'm going to add my fried panla fish to this. I'm going to stir this carefully because you don't want your fish breaking. The panla fish was cooked and then fried, so it's already seasoned. I just want this whole flavor to rub off on the panla fish, and that's why I'm adding it. At this point, you should reduce the flame because this whole meal is almost ready. So I'm going to reduce the flame and then allow it to sit for about 2 minutes and then it's ready. Okay, so this has been on fire for 2 minutes and now I can actually say my special pomo and panla fish sauce is now ready. My saucepan before I add my palm oil for my special village rice. Now I'm going to throw in my palm oil. Ever wondered the health benefits of palm oil? Sometimes I get really confused. These doctors throw us into a state of confusion. Now we have to actually check out if palm oil is more healthy. And I'm sure you're going to see a clip of that later on in the episode. I'm not bleaching the palm oil, so I'm just going to wait for like a minute before I throw in my already diced onion. My palm oil is ready now. I'm going to throw in some onion. Blended tomato. Then I'll add my blended onion. And then I'm going to add my pepper mix. Now I'm going to leave it to cook for about 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, so next I'm going to add some seasoning cubes. This has been on fire for about 10 minutes and as you can see, it's beginning to cook. So I'm going to add some seasoning cubes. Give this a very big stir. Next I'm going to add some salt. Give this another big stir. Next I'm going to add my already washed smoked panla fish to this. And I'm going to leave this to cook for another 5 minutes because I really want the sauce for the rice to be very dry. Wow, this is looking really nice and sumptuous already. So I'm just going to take my already cooked and diced meat and pomo. Like I said, it's village rice. I mean, what is village rice without these tiny condiments inside? And of course, it's also for the flavor. That's basically what cooking is, building up flavors to make an amazing dish. Next, I'm going to throw in my rice, my already washed rice. I'm going to throw in my rice to this mix. Give this a big stir. At this point, I'm going to add my blended crayfish. Give this another stir. Adding some meat stock so it cooks properly. Of course, you have to reduce the flame so it cooks on low heat and then everything. See how beautiful this whole thing is looking already. So I'm just going to give this a big stir. Finally, I'm going to add some scent leaf and then some more onion. Then I'm going to allow steam to make this whole thing blend. But before then, I'm going to give this another stir. I'm going to allow steam cook this for about 5 minutes and then it's definitely ready. Okay, so while my very special village rice is on fire, let's take a quick commercial break while I show you this very interesting video. Welcome back, guys. Now to that very interesting video. Do you find that yummy or disgusting? feel free to leave your comments because that video is actually one very complicated video. I don't know if that is a weird combination because I'm not judging. Just leave your comments and tell us what you think about those really amazing, yummy videos. Okay, so now guys, let's check on our food because I'm sure the whole magic is already coming together, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm sure you followed the process of making this amazing village rice. Feel free to make yours and do not forget to tag us and drop a comment for us on our comment section. Let's see how your beautiful village rice turned out. Before I leave you guys, let me take you through some of the health benefits of palm oil, which was one of the major ingredients I used for my village rice.
All around the world, palm oil consumption is increasing. It has been linked to several health benefits. It is an excellent source of tryptophanol, a form of vitamin E with strong antioxidant properties that may support brain health. Animals and human studies suggest that the tryptophanol in palm oil may help protect the delicate polyunsaturated fats in the brain, slow dementia progression, reduce the risk of stroke, and prevent the growth of brain lesions. Palm oil has been credited with providing protection against heart disease, as it also improves vitamin A status in the people who are deficient or at the risk of deficiency. Studies in pregnant women in developing countries have shown that consuming red palm oil increases vitamin A levels in their blood as well as in their breastfed infants.
Hi, wow Michelle, that village rice looks so delicious. My name is Ella. I'm from London Professional Training Center and we're a training firm that train on a bunch of things, especially the subject of food safety, how to make your food safe. I know you've been in this position where you've got this steaming plate of delicious looking food and you're ready to dig in, and all of a sudden you see a strand of hair or maybe a piece of metal. How did that get in there? And that just ruins the whole thing and throws you off that meal. So how do you avoid things like that happening to your meal? And that's what I'm here to talk about today. Preventing food contamination and ensuring that your food is safe. So when we hear about food contamination, we think, okay, what does that mean? Contamination is something that should not be in the food. So how do we know what a contaminant is? There are different kinds of contaminations. We have 4 broad topics of contaminations, and I'm just going to touch on them lightly. The first type of contaminant, or hazard is what we call them, is called a microbiological hazard, or what we just know as germs in layman terms. And there are so many types of germs, and we know that from the pandemic and the COVID-19 pandemic that we've been experiencing. So there are so many types of germs. We have bacteria, we have fungi, we have viruses, and these things contaminate the food that we eat because they're present anywhere and everywhere, even on our hands. So you notice that when she was preparing her meal, she was really careful about how she placed her food, her hands, ensuring that she was washing them and things like that, because she's trying to avoid the contamination from germs. And the sad thing about this contamination is that it usually causes a variety of illnesses that range from diarrhea, dysentery, to even in extreme cases, death. And so it's very, very important to be really cautious about the source of our food, about how we prepare this food, how we present this food. So that's just a microbiological hazard. The next hazard I would like to talk about is chemical hazards. chemical hazards are found from chemical contaminants. That's things like chemical substances. It could be something as serious as insecticide or something as subtle as perfume. It's very possible for your food to get tainted from very strong, for lack of a better term, Fulani perfume. In the presence of your food, it can totally contaminate the taste and the smell of your meal. So you have to be very careful about, if you're spraying the area, ensure that your food is covered. If you're using perfume, you ensure that you dab it off a little bit, wipe yourself down to ensure that your food doesn't get contaminated chemically. Another type of contamination or hazard is the physical hazard, and this can happen to anybody. And this happens from maybe the purchasing of your meal even to the production and presentation. Sometimes the stapling that comes with the product or the sellotape, these things, if they are not properly removed and discarded, can easily contaminate the food. So it could be either a nail, it could be tape like I mentioned, it could be bolts, nuts, it could be part of your blender that just comes off without you knowing. So how do you ensure that these things are avoided? So you ensure that you have a deboxing area. So you notice that she didn't put her wares, like when she bought the things from the market, she didn't just put it on the counter where she was going to prepare the meal. I'm sure she had a separate area where she deboxed them and unwrapped these things before taking it into her kitchen. So you ensure you have a deboxing area where you can take care of it outside of your kitchen area, and ensure that if you have any appliances, which I'm sure you will, like your blenders or your juicers or mixers or things like that, once you hear a sound that doesn't sound quite right, you ensure you look at it to get fixed. And here's a pro tip: do not fix your machines in your kitchen. Always remove them outside, because if a bolt gets loose or a nail gets loose and you don't find it, it could just be in that steaming pot of oha soup. So you have to be careful. And then the next kind of hazard I want to talk about is the allergenic hazards. And we are different people with different physical makeups, and some of us just don't, some certain meals just don't agree with us. And the sad thing is about allergies is if they are not properly treated, they can lead to death. And many people walk around without knowing that they are allergic to certain things. So what do you do as a someone that's preparing food? You ensure that if you are someone selling or preparing food, you ensure that you make a list of the things that could cause allergic reactions. For example, this is groundnut soup, and groundnut soup contains nuts. So in case you're allergic to nuts, do not come near groundnut soup. Or this is shrimp fried rice, which has seafood, and if you're allergic to seafood, don't go there. So this is our responsibility as people that provide food for people. So we have to ensure that we list out these hazards so that people will know that this food could be at risk, and if they eat it, they could be at risk. So these are just on hazards. And another tip that you can have in ensuring that you have safe food is preventing what we know as cross-contamination. So sometimes you've been very careful with the source of your food, you've been very careful with where you get them from, how you prepare them, and so on. But then sometimes, maybe for example, you just cut in raw beef and you quickly want to cut some vegetables and you don't wash the knife properly. You can contaminate the vegetables from the raw beef. So the germs basically in your raw beef can just jump into your vegetables and go straight into your salad and next into your tummy. So how do you prevent that? Always ensure you have a different set of utensils for raw food from your cooked food and your presentation food. So that's for cross-contamination. So another important thing that you need to note is when you are preparing your food. I know this might not seem logical for many of us that cook at home, but try as much as possible that where you prepare, the sink where you wash your fruits and your vegetables is different from where you wash your hands. Imagine going to the bathroom and washing your hands in the same sink where you're washing your soft chicken. That's a no-go. So always have a different area. If you can, have a wash hand basin solely for the purpose of washing your hands, and then have the normal sink that you use for your food preparation. But if you don't have that, you can always, before going into the kitchen, use the guest bathroom to wash your hands before entering into the kitchen, before you can now prepare your food. And of course, always ensure that your hair is covered, especially with those that are bone straights. Ensure that your hair is wrapped up and covered so that hair doesn't get into your food. And for those of us that love the lovely jewelry and things like that, these are easily things that could be found in the food. So please ensure that you take your jewelry off before you're preparing your meals. If you have your nails, be very careful, especially if they are not properly done or they've been on for a long time and can easily pop up. So you ensure that your nails are well filed, are short, so that you don't have things happening and contaminating your food. And also, most importantly, if you are preparing food in the kitchen and something is missing, for example, you had 10 jars of mayonnaise before you were making your salad, and then at the end of making your salad you have 9 jars. You have to stop everything you're doing and look for that one jar, because it could be anywhere. And even if glass falls and breaks in the kitchen, ensure that you clean up everything while the food is covered. These are the tips that you can take to ensure that your food is safe. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed and got a lot of tips from us. If you have any information or if you want to know more about our food safety course, please check us on Instagram at LondonPTCNG. And back to you, Michelle. Save me some of that village jollof rice. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. I hope you learned one or two from that clip. We've come to the end of another beautiful episode of Taste the Time, where I prepared my special village rice and then my very spicy pomo and panla fish sauce. Thank you for coming to my kitchen on your favorite TV show with your favorite girl, Michelle Abanum. Till I come your way next time, it's bye for now.